right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Forward Echo podcast. I am your host, Monsieur Demouy, and I am joined by a new panel tonight, a fresh panel of faces. Here we have Cam Jam from Participation Points. How you doing, Cam?
Hello.
We have Ender from Illuminati. Ender, how you
Hey,
doing?
what's good?
And Mo Jolly from Guinness.
Hello.
So those are our players on the evening as we look forward, as we look ahead. And now to the chat here. So what's going on? We are going to be covering 20 games, and since there are more teams, I had to cut a few more games than last week. However, what we'll be doing is using the four games that haven't been played that did get cut as kind of a bonus point. So when we start, we'll be going over. We'll just touch on those four games right quick. Also, chat, if you've noticed, you are now visible on the stream. Did that for Gilligan. Gilligan was asking for that a couple weeks ago, and I totally forgot to put it on. That's also why the background is not blurred, even though it's not helping too much, but you can still read the chat pretty well. Also, don't go crazy with that. But I mean, go crazy, but not too crazy. So we're gonna get going here. As I realize I am not as prepared as I intended to be. But that's all right. That's perfectly all right. So we're going to be starting at the bottom of the list. But so the other thing we're doing is what I call it the Mercy Bet. I explained it to the panel here. Mercy Bet, basically each panelist has two Mercy Bets that they're allowed to use. They don't have to use any of them. And what that is if we come across a game where they feel like there might be a mercy, they can make a mercy bet, and if they get it right, if there is a mercy in the game, they'll get an extra point. And if there is no mercy in the game, they will lose a point. So that's why we call that the mercy bet. So I guess we will get going here. And first, starting, if you look at the schedule on the home page of all the matchups, we're starting from the bottom and moving up the top, of course, with some that were pulled out. We're not going to go quite in order. We're going to be skipping some. And the ones we'll be skipping, of course, are the Infinite versus Orbit game, which already took place, Chaos versus Skulker Crusaders, which already took place. And then the other four are going to be 6 Foot Over versus Space Force, Spaghetti versus Naples Ultra, Galaxy versus Nebula, and Genesis versus Reboot. So we'll start with that the potential tiebreaker point here, and let you guys pick a game that you want to make a call on that you think you're pretty confident in, and So I don't know, anybody want to start?
Me, all right.
Yeah, you do it.
Put me on the spot here. I don't know. I think the Reboot v Genesis is definitely gonna go towards Genesis. Personally, because I went against Reboot and I've seen how they play, but I've also kind of seen how Genesis plays, and I definitely think it's gonna go 2-0 to Genesis.
That's Genesis in 2. Mojolly's going to call. Ender, you have one.
These are two teams I haven't really watched that much, but I think Reboot in 3 here. Kind of depends who's going to play.
And Cam, do you have a pick any? You're allowed to pick. You don't have to pick the Reboot versus Genesis game. You can pick Spaghetti versus Naples Ultra, Galaxy versus Nebula, 6 Foot Over versus Space Force for this bonus round.
Go with 6 Foot Over and Space Force. Space Force, I got 2. See player.
Oh, you're cutting in and out a little bit there, Cam.
Oh no, it's probably my New
There we
Zealand
go.
thing. I'm giving it to Space Force in 2. Team not to be messed with. They can shoot, they can pass, they got it all going.
Nice, Cam with Space Force 2. And Ender, I forgot. So you said Reboot and Genesis. What was your call?
Reboot in 3.
All right, so Ender with Reboot in 3. So that's a Mojolly Reboot picking Genesis in 2, right? That was correct?
Yes.
Ender picking Reboot in 3, and Cam Jam picking Space Force in 2. All right, so we will move on to our first proper matchup of the first one we're going to be covering more in depth. I've got it now on the screen here, and that's going to be 6 foot over versus Galaxy. And as stream can see, that's 6 foot over is that team of Vanzi, what is that? Crimson, Leaf Around, Rickster, Firebird, and the Law. Galaxy, a newer team of Chucky, Joseph, Cyanide, VR, Death Creeps, Grief, and Furcar. Both relatively new teams with some players that have been around a while, some players that are newer. And what are you guys thinking about this one?
As much as I love Galaxy, I don't think they're going to take this round. I don't think, have they taken a single round so far? I don't
I
think
think I
they
would have to
have.
look. Let's see. Galaxy.
I'm pretty sure they got around against Reboot.
No, they they got around. Okay, so they didn't get the game, but they got around. I
Yes,
think,
Galaxy is currently 0-6 on the season.
yeah, I think 6 foot over is gonna take that one. 2-0.
Mojolly was 6 foot over in 2. What are you guys thinking?
Yeah, definitely agree with that one. Galaxy, they're just too brand new and they're pretty young. Who knows? Maybe in a couple seasons they'll pull a Joker and be at the top. But for this first season, it's going to be rough. So 6 foot over into.
Cam, how you feeling about it?
I mean, I'm a ex-Galaxy team member. They're all fairly new players, and looking at the 6 foot over roster, they're all pretty experienced. I'd have to give this to 6 foot and 2, and I might put my mercy bet on it as well.
Ooh.
Oh, so right off the back, we have our first mercy bet. That's I cannot express to you how happy that makes me. So Cam Jam with the mercy is one of two mercy bets on that 6 foot over versus Galaxy game. All right, so we'll move on now to the next one on the modded list here. It's Space Force versus Skull Crusaders. Space Force, a newer team, Lands End, Arrow Knight, Anime for Life, Ender's Lot, Pyro Polar Bear, a lot of very well known names from the pub scene. And then over Skull Crusaders, you've got Swissy, Antgas, Asgod, and Oculizator, who just played tonight, picked up a 2-0 loss against Chaos. So how you guys feeling about this one?
I'm
That
definitely
one,
rooting for Space Force.
yeah.
Sorry, you can continue.
Yeah, Space Force, they're like one of my favorite new teams. I think they have a lot of potential once they play a couple more weeks. But I don't know, with the addition of Oculisator, you never know. If he decides to just take it over himself, it could go to 3. But yeah, I'm gonna take a Space Force in 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. I scrimmed against Space Force about, I'm not sure how many weeks ago it was, but I scrimmed against them, and then we did that match against them. In between the time, in between, they definitely improved a lot, and I'm looking forward to see their improvement throughout this season.
I have 3.
Yeah, out of 3, I agree with that.
Skull Crusaders is another team that I have played on in the past. They're pretty fun to play with, and I
Yet another
think
one.
they're gonna have a decent amount of like experience because they play together like a lot. Like whenever they get on Echo, they're always like on together. So I think Skull are gonna take it in 3. I reckon.
That's a Cam. The odd man out here, as I don't know what I was typing in, but yeah, Skull Crusaders in 3. So we got Space Force in 3 to both Mojolly and Ender, and then Cam and Skull Crusaders in 3. All right, so that'll move us on to the next one here. Deception versus Chaos. Deception, a brand new team. I don't believe they've had any games played just yet. That is a team of Mozzie, Citrus, Dollar Ranger, and iBlow at Sports. Certainly not new players, but a new team. And then they're facing off against Chaos, who had that win earlier tonight, and that's the team of Dana McFabulous, Cakester, Curry in a Hurry, and Ferrafo.
This will be a close one. I mean, I haven't seen Dolar play that much this season, and I don't really know how good Deception's going to be, but I'll take Deception 3.
Yeah, knowing the players on Deception and then playing against Chaos, it's kind of hard to figure out which one will take the win on this one. It's definitely going to be a close round, and I think I'm gonna have to say Deception on 3 rounds.
I don't know about that. Um, Deception is a really new team. Like, I think they came out just before the last draw, and Chaos have been playing for a long time as a team. They've got like strategies and plans down, but I don't think Deception's quite had like the time to get the team chemistry. So I'm giving it to Chaos in 2.
Boy, you're gonna have 0 points by the end of this week.
Hey, I mean, okay. Yeah, we'll see who's talking at the end of this game.
There we go. That's what I like to hear. All right, so we'll go ahead and use that to move on to this next matchup. And that is one I'm personally interested in seeing. That's Reboot versus Nay Plus Ultra. Reboot is that beer league team of 5 Spotted Dog, 17 Charge, Dipman, Neon, Sweet Potato, and Zentuition. And then they're going up against Nay Plus Ultra. Not a particularly new team here. Zux, Brennan Cecil, Ducks, and Solid Shot. Yeah, go ahead.
Any and two for sure. I think if I don't know if Brendan takes a little more passive role, I think they could be a low tier 1 team. They have the potential for it, and I think Reboot still has some work to do. So, and Brendan has the veteran status, so I'm giving him a 2.
I'm gonna have to again agree with you. Nay Plus Ultra and 2. I've played against both, and Nay Plus definitely tops in skill level and overall experience.
I think Reboot, they've definitely got better since preseason. Their passing's been a lot more consistent, but I don't think they're as consistent at shooting as Nay Plus Ultra. And I think Nay Plus Ultra's going to take this in 2.
All right, so the panel in absolute agreement there, all picking Nay Plus Ultra in 2. And so we'll go ahead and move on to the next matchup here. That is a Spaghetti versus Genesis. That Spaghetti team, Mini Hat, Meatball, or Owl, Y-Perm Isolate versus Genesis. That newer team of H Money, Jay Tabaka, Caden, Knife Rich, Azon, and Keith. I believe Azon was a recent addition. And for this one, we're going to go in reverse order here. Cam, you're going to take the first call on this one.
Okay, I think that Spaghetti's taking this one in 3. They're going to kind of rebound. They haven't had the best start to season 1, but I think they're going to rebound. But Genesis aren't going to go down too easily. They're a pretty strong team. So I'm giving Spaghetti in 3.
I'm gonna have to prefer Spaghetti on this one in 2. I guess I don't know. I'm more familiar with the players on Spaghetti as a whole than Genesis, and I guess I I have more faith that Spaghetti can take this in 2.
Ooh, this one's hard because Spaghetti's been not playing too well, but I think if they OW or Al, whatever, he's playing with them again, right?
Yes.
All right. I think he played with them last week, so I'm gonna give it to a Spaghetti and 2. They should get the groove back together.
Mute on stream. So all three of you picking Spaghetti all three of you picking Spaghetti, but it is Cam the odd man out again. Spaghetti in 3, as the other two are with Spaghetti in 2. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on now to this is one Cam might have something to say about. That's Nebula versus participation points. Nebula is that notably fast team of Chocolate, Kaznaz, Late Toast, and Sweet Tooth. Versus participation points, Cam Jam's team of Apollo Please, Mackenzie, Filibust, and a recent addition, Little Potato. And Cam Jam, if you could clarify, someone told me this is kind of the point of maybe the original intention was to like use this as a platform to find other teams to join. Is there any truth to that, or any nuance being missed?
it started out as a bit of like a free agent team, but now it's kind of a team to get newer players into like a competitive scene, because there's not really any teams that new players can just like get experience with. So that's kind of like the idea of the team. Um, and
Oh,
with this,
that's pretty awesome, actually.
yeah, with this matchup, I'm gonna have to give it to participation points. Um, you know, Little Potato, our new signing, we've had some technical difficulties with him and his batteries. I'm not sure if you heard of that, but there's
No,
been a
it's
bit of drama around that.
first time I'm hearing about it.
Um, if you scroll up in the Echo voice text chat, his dad apparently can't afford batteries, so we might have a bit of a rough game there.
But nonetheless, you're picking participation points to take this versus Nebula
In
in how many games?
in 3, gotta
3.
gotta give Nebula some credit here.
And yeah, you guys, how do you guys agree with Cam here?
No,
No.
not at all. Not at all.
Unbelievable! I can't believe you guys. That's shocking.
Yeah, Nebula and 2.
Yeah,
I mean,
Nebula and 2.
Disappointing. Disappointing.
participation points, you guys might get like 4 points, but I think if you use it as a free agent team, some of these guys can actually turn
I
into
know.
some decent
We're
players down
gonna
the road. So I respect that though.
we're gonna
But-
turn up. We're gonna participate. That's where we're gonna get the win.
Hey, I like that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
absolutely.
Nebula
Chocolate
too.
and Sweet Tooth, their boost is destructive, especially for newer teams. I know firsthand how we underestimated them and just ignored the fact that they had that good boosting, and that's kind of what messed us up.
And Kaz is really good. I think Kaz can be
Yes.
one of the better
No
goalies in
way.
the game for sure.
I don't know.
I haven't played it with that much, but yeah, he's
I know Chocolate has been referred to as a speed multiplier on many occasions from many different people. And as someone who's boosted with him as well, I can say he will make you faster unless you already have a teammate that's that fast. He will make your boost faster because he's just so quick.
Absolutely. He is definitely one of the best boost spot partners you could get.
And a nice
He
kid.
can even boost with me. I've got 200 ping and he's like zooming with me. It's insane.
And I'm glad also that he finally got his voice changed because I know for a while there, everybody who heard him assumed he was a girl, and I felt really bad about that because I know I did it too. And
Everyone still calls him a girl. He is still a girl
it
in my
probably
mind.
turned into a meme.
He is
yeah.
the prettiest e-girl.
But definitely a good kid. Absolutely. Can't say enough good things about Chocolate there. We'll use that to go ahead and move on to the next matchup here, and that is There Is No Team versus Wireless Jacks. And There Is No Team is a new team, one that formed by Guygasm with B Love, Caption, and Fair Enough. And I can say when Palador heard that Fair Enough was returning for some comp play, he got really excited, and yeah, I've also heard B Love said that this is kind of a for fun team. They're not looking to win any championships necessarily. Of course, if it comes their way, they're not going to complain. But yeah, it's definitely exciting to see this team. B Love, I know, been around for a long time. Caption, all these guys been around for a long time. They're going up against that team of Wireless Jacks. Gilligan, Blitz, The Alchemy, Will I Am, and Lemon QT, one of Nova's sister teams here. So I'm personally excited to see this matchup. How are you guys feeling about it?
Yes, I am very excited to see these old players coming back into the competitive scene. I'm just definitely rooting for There Is No Team and their logo, the bent spoon. It's quite wonderful. But yeah, I think There Is No Team is gonna take this in 3, considering they did just come back, and we don't exactly know if they're fully returned to how they used to play. But yeah, that's
yeah. I just played against them in a pub, 3 of them, and it doesn't look like they lost a step, to be honest. I think they're going to be pretty good. And Bilo reminds me of myself. He's like an older version of me. That's what I like to think of. Bilo's great. He's a great player too.
Definitely,
so they're going to take
absolutely.
this in 2. They're taking it in 2. No worries.
Under with There Is No Team and 2. Mojoli, did you make a call there?
Yeah, I said there's no team in 2.
Team in 2. Okay. And Cam, how you feeling?
So I've played against Wireless Jacks for a couple games, and one thing that doesn't really show up on stream is their boosts are actually insanely quick. Like,
And
it's crazy.
they've definitely gotten quicker over the last couple of weeks. I know Gilligan and Alchemy discovered some new technique or figured something out between themselves to get them going a lot faster than they were before.
When I was playing on Skull, they definitely capitalized us on being a bit slow out of the launch tube. Got a lot of points off of that. So, and obviously there's a lot of experience on There Is No Team, but I think Wireless Jacks are gonna go down in 3.
And I am really I love that in so many of these there's a lot of agreement between Mojo and Ender, but then Cam coming in with the curveballs, and I absolutely love it because variety is the spice of life, as they say, and that's going to make
Our
for a very
brain
interesting
screens
race, I think.
work a bit differently.
Nice, we'll use that. Moving on to the next matchup now. That's going to be Deception versus Wireless Jacks. And Deception, again, that new team in Mozzie, Citrus, Dollar Ranger, and I Blow at Sports. Really not sure what to expect from that team. Maybe
Yeah, this was rough.
yeah, an interesting matchup. Maybe not. I don't even know what to expect.
Honestly, Wireless Jacks. Wireless Jacks is like they're that tier 2 team that I feel like if they just fix a couple things, they could be top 10 for sure and like put some pressure on the higher teams. And I have Wireless Jacks in 3. I just don't know how good Deception is going to be at the beginning.
Ender with Wireless Jacks in 3. And someone in chat saying Ender is quiet. Can anybody else back that up? Is Ender actually quiet, or am I getting trolled right now? Because he sounds pretty.
I think he's
Haven't
just
roasted
not talking
yet.
as often. I don't know.
Okay,
He's
maybe that's what
talking
they.
more than
Maybe
I'm
it's just a
supposed.
general sort of comment. Yeah, because Ender, I know Ender. That was one thing I was worried about. I was like, am I gonna have to tell Ender to speak up? Because I know when I'm in a game with him, I have trouble hearing him sometimes.
Yeah,
Because I
my
remember there was
Oculus
a.
might be weird.
Okay, so yeah, but yeah, I didn't think you were quiet in the stream, so we must be. Yeah, we're probably good. All right, so Ender with Wireless Jacks. What'd you say in 2?
3.
3.
Yeah, Deception will get a game, but I think the Wireless Jacks has just played a lot more.
Yeah, this is a hard decision, definitely. On one hand, Wireless Jacks has that experience and that team chemistry, while Deception is kind of new. I think they've played 1 scrim so far, maybe more. I'm not exactly sure. But I'm gonna have to say Wireless Jacks in 3.
I've heard a couple scrim results from a Deception member, and I think Wireless Jacks are gonna win it because they're just a bit more experienced. They've played as a team for a bit longer. I think Wireless got this in 2.
Cam coming in with some insider information, but going with that Wireless Jacks in 2. And like I said, I'm very interested to see this matchup. I might make a point to get in on casting it because yeah, Wireless Jacks being that sister team, and I'm very curious to see what that team of Deception is able to do coming into this season here. Now moving on, we have Ignite versus Guinness. Guinness has some real matchups this week.
Oh,
Uh,
real mashups, if that's one way to
so
put it.
yeah, it's really having to prove your place in the standings here.
Oh yeah.
So Mojo, you gotta take this one as this is your team here.
All right. Oh my God. We are definitely excited for these matchups. Definitely this one in general. I I don't know whether or not we're gonna take it or not. I know we're gonna go in there and we're gonna definitely give it our all. And I've already set up more than 3 scrims in order to prepare for the match and overall. But I if we I don't know. I think it's gonna it's hard to like 3 I'll just give it to us 3 rounds
So
for
Mojo
Guinness,
claiming
maybe.
Guinness in
Hopefully.
3, and maybe a ballsy pick there. As Ignite is a notable team in the league, one of the more sure-footed, one of those teams that scrims, as I mentioned last night in the pocket, or maybe it was in a cast. I'm not sure, but they will scrim 2-3 hours at a time. They're definitely they definitely put that work in, and it shows a lot. But what do you guys, the Ender and Cam? Do you think maybe she's giving her team too much credit here, or maybe?
No, they're just newer for sure, and they got some pretty tough matches this week. And Ignite's a wild card, man. I don't even know. Somehow when we played them, we've lost. We've gone to 3 twice, so I think it's gonna be tough. But I'll do Ignite in 2.
Oh, Mojolly, you gonna take that?
Uh,
No, of course
yeah.
I'm playing.
I'm saving my mercy. Don't worry.
Cam, what are you thinking?
So I'm definitely going with Ignite, and I'm gonna say Ignite in 2. I've played with Guinness players and Ignite players, and I think maybe Ignite just has the edge on this one. And just to be a bit different, I'm gonna use my Mercy bit. I think there's gonna be a Mercy in this game.
Oh.
Oh,
So
and
Oh. Is
Cam,
there?
not only the first person to pull out a Mercy bet, but the first person to pull out both Mercy bets and putting one on Mojolly. So Mojolly, definitely on the lower end of the bets here.
Someone's not gonna have many points.
How well, how you feeling about the matchup now, Mojolly?
Well, now that there's a mercy against us, now we have to try harder, obviously.
yeah,
We
that's what I
can't.
was going for, you know?
So
Just
you can't.
inspire the players.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Cam.
All right, so we'll go ahead and move
Uh,
on now to this next matchup, and I'm sure we will be coming back to Guinness here in a few minutes. But this next one here, one that I'm going to be looking forward to is there is no team, that new team of Gygas and B-Left Caption and Fair Enough versus Team Nova, of course, the team of Venom, S and Sesper, and Monsieur Demouy himself. What are you guys thinking about this one?
It's a big good one. Who did you guys play last week? I don't know if I saw
We
it.
played Orbit. Was it Orbit? No, excuse me. Milk and Wireless Shacks. We lost to Milk in 3. We took round 1. Second round got well away from us. Third round, I think, was well played, but they took that third round. And then Wireless Shacks, we beat in 2.
This will be a good one. I feel like pretty evenly matched here.
mm-hmm.
Normally, I think I'd give this to There's No Team, but you guys have been playing for a lot longer, obviously. I'm gonna take There's No Team in 3.
Team
I think
in
it's gonna be
3.
close though. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to disagree and go Nova in 3, because it's just you guys have that just experience overall, and I don't know, that's about it. Experience overall.
I'm gonna go with Team Nova, but I'm gonna call in 2 though, because they've just played more as a team. And also, have you like seen Venom's montages? He's like insane. He hits those shots. He's a pro player. So that's
Like
what's
he
gonna
puts
win
those
them the game.
together though. Like there's all the shots that he misses.
I mean, to be fair, I do have to rep Venom a little bit. He is capable of hitting some really impressive shots. It's one of those situations where I keep having to like remind myself to not be surprised because he can actually hit them. You know, there's really all I can say. All three of my teammates can hit them. I am the lone player on the team that is not one who's going to even be attempting those long hard shots. Particularly from like tubes and such. But Venom will hit him. Essend will hit him. Zesper will hit him. But yeah. So yeah. Also, extra point to Cam for picking us in 2. No, of course I'm kidding.
Thank you.
That
Oh,
that that
what?
would be
Oh, no thanks.
that would just be a little bit, maybe just a little corrupt. But we'll go ahead and move on to this next matchup. Make sure I'm not skipping over anything. I am not. That is Ignite versus Milk. One I'm certainly going to be paying attention to. As I mentioned, Milk beat us last week. We played Ignite in week 1, pulling out what I think was considered a surprise win, and I think it was a surprise to us even. So very, very curious to see how these teams are going to perform against each other, particularly how Milk's going to perform against Ignite.
Yeah. I haven't really watched Milk's matches, to be honest. I know they've been winning though, and Ignite's just always like consistently just solid, you know. So this one's gonna be close. Didn't these two play earlier? Did they play earlier in the season?
Don't think so. We can go and check.
I don't even know.
Ignite and Milk. No, Ignite has not played Milk yet this season. I will say, Milk has a very similar playstyle to Orbit, I believe. Not entirely similar, but they remind me. I know when we play them, when I watch video on them, when I watch tape, as they say, they remind me a lot of Orbit in their individual playstyles.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Ignite in 3 here. I just think Ignite's just more consistent.
I don't know. Milk is definitely one of those teams that I favor more, just because of just I don't know, my relation kind of with each of the team members. Because every player on Milk is kind of a cool dude. But I'm gonna have to do Milk 3.
I'm going to have to choose Milk in 3 because I feel like they have a lot of momentum coming into this game. They've won a lot of games recently, but the one thing I don't agree with them is the ice cubes in the milk in their picture. I think it's just quite simply wrong. Like, it just shouldn't happen.
Mm. Man, you guys are gonna have a tough week. So I'm picking Legends in 3.
I also just realized I was muted on stream for that entire intro to this game, so I apologize for the dead air because that yeah, I have too many buttons to contend with at the moment. But Ender, you said Legends in 3.
Yeah, this is Legends in Nova. In case anyone didn't hear. Yeah, Legends in 3. Man, they've been playing really solid, and I don't know too much to say about them. I think they're playing really good right now, and I think they're gonna come out with a win in 3. It'll be close though. You guys could. I voted against Nova twice now, but I think you guys could actually win both. So.
SSVC, I've played them in the past when I was still on Galaxy. Got absolutely stomped on. They've got all the moves. They can pass, they can shoot. They do spins occasionally. Like, I don't know what to say about it. I'm gonna have to give this to SSVC in 3.
I'm gonna have to agree. SS, whatever their name is, in 3. Going against them and then seeing their improvement and how often they practice and scrim is definitely a really good team and a really hard team to beat.
And as far as what's being said about SSVC Legends, I can't disagree. They are a very solid team, some very good players. In case anyone is curious where their name comes from, as far as the letters SSVC, that is Skyla S, Single Shot S, Velastro V, and Captain Canada C. So SSVC. And they, of course, are legends, at least in their own minds. As we are going to now move on to Flare versus Milk. Another one I'm very excited for. Flare, of course, had the notable win over Illuminati the other day. And of course, that is Ender giving his opinion of that game. The game where they played without Shepard, that was Chrome Platypus Game, Grumpiest Broom, Voodoo, and of course, Game absolutely popped off with those empty net deep threes. I don't know if Ender has any comments about that game in particular, but of course, we are talking about the Flare versus Milk game. So yeah, what are you guys thinking about this one? Flare looking pretty hot at the moment.
Absolutely. Oh, I think it's gonna be Flare in 2.
Man, y'all giving Flair so much credit. I'm mad. Just because we threw one game, all right? Just because we
Through the
threw.
game. Ender claiming now officially that Illuminati threw the game against Flair. And oh man, makes me wish Shepard was here right now.
Yeah, we just wanted to give their egos a little boost. They weren't doing too well. Can we challenge them this week?
I don't know. That's I think only you guys can tell. And Cam, your mic's starting to go nuts again.
Oh no.
Speedy in
I'll
here?
just go fix my New Zealand mic real quick.
Is Speedy? I haven't. He might be. Unfortunately,
right,
I have a hard time tracking chat with all the windows I have open while we're doing this. I know he has been here, but I'm not sure if he is currently here.
No,
Yeah,
I
he's
don't
probably
think
not.
so.
I don't even
don't
remember
see
what
him
matches even
currently.
happened.
This is
What-
Flair versus Milk.
Give me a second.
Is my mic any better, or is it still like proper?
Nope, sounds good.
It's
Okay.
great.
I'm gonna give this to Flair in 3, because Milk are a pretty good team, but I think Flair just have the experience.
So that was Mojo. You picked Flair in 2, correct?
Yes.
And Cam with Flair in 3. Ender, how you feeling?
Oh,
Ender's probably gonna pick Milk in 2 just out of spite here.
man, this is Milk's gonna win 3, to be honest. Flair, they're gonna get high off that win versus us and throw just like we did. Yeah, I got Milk in 3.
And definitely a win you can get. Any team can get high off of, because of course when you beat the reigning champions, it's definitely something you're gonna be writing mom about at the end of the day. And I know I'd write my mother. Everybody call your moms. Tell you love her. All right. So moving on now to this is going to be another one close to home here. That's Orbit versus Participation Points. A very interesting matchup. As Orbit, a very strong team here. That's One Scoop, Blender, Sneaky Evil, Zenith, and Ultra Droid. Of course, Participation Points, Cam Jam's team of Paulo. Is that Mackenzie, Filibust, and Little Potato? And there it is. Ender coming out with a mercy bet on this round.
I have to agree. Mostly just to spite you.
Both coming out with mercy bets here. So are you both
cool.
also calling Orbit in 2?
Yeah, Orbit 2.
So both,
total score is 42-2.
Oh my goodness! Well, at least he's giving you the one goal. I don't know, Cam, how you feeling about both your panelists coming out so hard against your team here?
So, participation points coming in with a lot of momentum. Picked up a new signing, little Potato 503. We've got the experience. At least more than 200 games on every single player. It's hard to believe.
At least more than 200.
At least 200.
If you combine all of you, times it by 3, and you might reach one of the Orbit players.
Okay, so I mean, it's not really going to be a hard game for participation, but I mean, so we're really going to clutch up. If I had another mercy token, I would put it on. So I'm giving this to participation in 2. So there we go.
You're really not gonna have any points.
Yeah, I'm picking points in 2, and of course I'm gonna have to scroll here to remind Mojo she might not want to be too critical. As what was that picking Guinness versus Ignite in 3, and then we have another Guinness coming up here. Not quite yet, but we are very close to that one. As we move on to our next one here, this is Instinct versus Illuminati. Instinct doing really, really well this season. They've already moved up into a gold ranked position. This week, having to I'm gonna go back because I know they've been having to defend their ranking lately, and they had 2 games last week against Joker and Kang. Came away losing both of those, but they maintain that gold ranking. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the leaderboards here, as they are still in 5th place. So yeah, this Instinct versus Illuminati. I don't know, Ender, if you guys been watching any tape on these guys or what, but what you might be expecting here. Oh, guess not. All right, go ahead. Take it away, Ender.
Yeah, we're winning too. I'm sick of losing. I'm not losing no more. It's literally. Yeah, we're winning too. It's probably just the same as the Joker score, to be honest.
I don't know. I think it's gonna be in 3 actually. For Illuminati.
I'm gonna have to take a controversial opinion here and go for Instinct in 3. They've definitely pulled their weight against Kangaroos, and I think they're a pretty strong team. So I'm gonna give it to Instinct in 3.
And I mean, this is one of those games. I just got to say that Instinct, the way they've been playing, I could see them winning. I would expect Illuminati. I would expect Illuminati to take it too, just because of who they are. And not to toot your horn too much here, Ender. Of course, we don't need to be inflating your head any larger. But just because of who Team Illuminati is, but as well, the way Instinct has been playing, kind of taking everybody by surprise, I think it's possible they could run this away in 3. So I'm really, really excited to see that matchup whenever that one comes out. We do have everybody there. That is Mojolly with Illuminati in 3, Ender with Illuminati in 2, and Cam Jam with Instinct in 3. And I'm so excited to see how this works out on Sunday. I really, really am. Because I love
They're playing
all of the
Infinite
picks.
first too, aren't they? Okay. That match supposed to come up, right? Infinite and Instinct.
We have not gotten there, and we do have one that's going to get some giggles from Mojolly here. Up next is this going to be Illuminati versus Guinness, a matchup I don't know if anybody was expecting.
Mercy,
No,
mercy.
And Ender immediately coming out with the mercy bet, and I assume that means Ender, you're picking Illuminati in 2 as well.
Oh yeah.
Ender with
my.
Illuminati in 2 with the mercy bet. Mojolly, how you feeling about that?
Oh, I this match. I definitely wasn't expecting this match at all, and we're all nervous and excited just to see in this match and play in general. I definitely don't think we're gonna win. But we're definitely gonna go out there and we're gonna not get a mercy, that's for sure.
So then what's your official
Let's
prediction?
say, oh, I hate to vote against my team because I absolutely love it, but it's gonna be Illuminati in 2.
Oh man, and Mojolly throwing her team under the bus here against this Illuminati team.
Clearly.
Although I will put it out there that I am a little bit jealous that you're getting to play this Illuminati team, as Nova didn't even see them in the preseason. We still have yet to see them in season 1, so we haven't even scrimmed, so we have not played each other at all. So I'm a little bit jealous that Giddis is getting a shot here in this week 4.
You can take it. You can take the match. We can trade.
Cam Jam, what are you thinking?
I'm all for controversial opinions, but not this game. Definitely Illuminati in 2.
Oh, my feelings. Oh.
So the panel in complete and utter agreement here, as they all are going with Illuminati in 2, and of course with that notable mercy bet on the series as well. So you're definitely gonna be looking out for that one, and definitely looking forward to. Hopefully, we can get all you guys back on Sunday to talk about what ended up happening in these games. But yeah,
sure.
now we are moving on to that one.
Wait, Speedy's here. I gotta tell him, Speedy, we have to challenge Flair because I'm sick of this shit. I really am.
Yeah, Ender wants to challenge Flair for a rematch after that the 2-0 loss against Flair the other day that took a lot of people by surprise, and also culminated in Lanzan made that recap video for the week, and the second half of that video is dedicated to that game, to that series, and I'm gonna be I watched
that's gonna
that.
be their highlight reel for the rest of their careers. We didn't even come out of the tunnel the last 3 minutes.
Well, I mean, I gotta give credit to Lanzan because I ended up watching that video like 3 in the morning, and I was tired. And by the end of the video, I was hyped and ready to go. I was ready to fight some. I was ready to play a game because of how awesome that video was. So big ups to Lanzan there for putting that one out. and of course, Ender expressing his displeasure, but that is perfectly all right. That's what we're here for. So we will move on to this match that Ender was just asking about, and that is Instinct versus Infinite. Another one I'm very, very excited to see as we talked about Instinct, that team has kind of been on fire since they entered the league.
Yeah, I got Infinite's kind of on this weird downswing we're kind of on right now. Didn't they go to 3 today? Who did they play? Orbit? Is that what, they went to 3?
They played
Yeah.
Orbit, and that the series did go to 3. I know Palador gave me a rundown of it, but I can't recall a whole lot from it. I didn't actually get to watch it today.
I'm pretty sure Infinite won in 3, and they play Instinct before we do, so they're gonna beat Instinct. Instinct's gonna be tilted and lose to us, and so Infinite in 3. They're gonna give up a round, but they'll win. They'll win for sure.
I'm gonna have to agree. Infinite in 3. Infinite has definitely been struggling so far in the competitive league, but they're definitely gonna take this one.
Well, I would say I would put an asterisk, or I would put an amendment on that. They've been struggling a little bit in season 1, but they did dominate in that preseason. They went undefeated up until I think the last week
Until they
or the
lost to
second to last
us.
week. Yeah, was it you guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, so they did do a fair bit of dominating in that preseason, and then yeah, I've talked to Andy about because they're not they're not pretending they were aware of their downswing coming into the season 1. Of course, you would expect they're not happy about it. They're trying to work themselves out of it. And Andy expressing his displeasure to me in person, well, one on one, as well about it. But Cam, how you feeling about this matchup?
Um, I'm gonna go with Infinite in 2. I've came across Zach in some pub matches. He can spin and still like score from anywhere. It's insane. So I'm gonna go with Infinite in 2.
Yeah, Zach, one of the more notable players. Someone I've come to calling the Randy Mullen of Rodney Mullen of Echo with some of the trick shots he's come up with over the last couple of years. One of the more prolific scorers, or well, one of the more well known scorers, of course. We do have, as far as I'm aware, still the record holder for points scored in a game here in panel tonight of Ender. Still remember that was I think it was 42 in one game. Of
I
course,
think it's
Ender
41.
41. Well, yes, fair enough, fair
But I
enough.
mean, yeah,
And of course,
it
as
was
you said to me once before that it's not something you do alone. And of course, you got to recognize that that's the kind of thing that's gonna when you have teammates like Ender does make it a little bit easier to run up a score like that. I think. Of course,
yeah.
I'm not one who scores a whole lot, so I wouldn't say I know, but I would think, as I do, that's not really what I'm known for. But yeah, we will go ahead and now I believe that got us for the yeah, all of you picking Infinite, Cam with Infinite in 2, Mojo and Ender with Infinite in 3. As we now move on to not this game here. That's going to be Flair versus Kangarillas. Another
Tango in
matchup.
2.
Ender, without a doubt, Kango in 2. But to be honest, Kangarillas have been on fire coming into the season. They had that kind of a rough start in preseason. Uh, Probably didn't perform as well as they expected they would or hoped they would. Didn't perform as well as anyone else really expected them to. But then came back in this preseason, or excuse me, in the season 1, absolutely ready to go and just tearing through the competition. So I can't really fault or disagree with Ender too much, Kang and 2, despite the fact that Flair had that big win last week. But yeah, what Mojolly and Cam.
Wait, who did Flair win against last week? Sorry,
I
just
believe
remind
that
me.
was Illuminati that
Oh
Flair beat
wow,
last
that's
week.
crazy. That's crazy.
No, I'm still gonna have to say Kang in 2. Absolutely. King has really gotten this season just powerhousing through these teams like Joker and etc. I see Jay in chat, but yeah.
I don't really feel like I need to explain myself much saying can go in 2.
So all the panel in complete agreement here, picking Kang in 2, and yeah, as I say, Flair is definitely the kind of team that could take a game over Kang, but Kang has just been in such true form lately that I think it's going to be tough for really any team to take a game from Kang, at least right now. We'll see how far they can push this. But we are now on our penultimate game matchup here, and that is Kangarillas versus Joker. I was kind of thinking of maybe holding this one for last, but no, it's going to be our penultimate. It's just going to keep going in order here. And yeah, definitely a matchup I'm curious to see. Kanga with that as I said, back in true form with that formation passing, really unstoppable with it, the scoring and the whole nine from Kang. But then Joker, of course, a team that can take a game off of anybody. At any time, notable, and not to sound like we're shitting on Illuminati too much here, but notable that I mean, even in the finals, took that the mercy over Illuminati in that one round. Of course, Illuminati came back.
Hold up. All right, hold up. They just played 2 series versus Infinite, steamrolled, and then came straight into us, and we hadn't played in like 2 hours. All right,
It's
they
while
got
I don't
lucky.
Well, I don't disagree that there is greater context to take into consideration. It is still notable, but I also use it as a great example because it was Illuminati who came back, won that series, and then won the next series as well. Right, or was it they took the first, so you took the second? No, you took.
No, we lost 1 to
Was it?
3 in the
Yeah,
first
that's right.
series, and then we 3-0. And then,
And so I love using that as an example of like even Illuminati got mercied in the final series and then took the finals. So I think it's a great example of just how easy it is for games to swing from time to time. But yeah, we are talking about Kang versus Joker here. So I don't know how you guys feeling about this particular matchup.
Oh, I think it's going to be a redemption kind of match for Joker here. I hate to stroke Jay's ego, but they definitely went into that first match against Kingo just not playing well and their teamwork all over the place. And I think this is where they're more organized and they can take that in 3.
man, this is a tough one. Joker's a little more wild, but wild can win you games. And if King doesn't play at their top with all their crisp passes and stuff, Joker's definitely gonna win. But King's been looking good. Man, I'm gonna stroke the 13-year-old's ego right now. All right, Joker in 3.
And reluctantly with Joker in 3. Cam, what are you thinking?
I'm gonna go with Kangarillas in 3. They've just been so good recently, it's insane. I'm just gonna have to go with them.
So Cam, the odd man out here with Kang in 3, and really, I don't think any of these are bad bets at all. I think either team can take this series in any number of games, just because both teams are just those kind of they're those kind of teams. Uh, so yeah, so we will now move on to our final matchup of the week, and that is going to be SSVC Legends versus Joker. And yeah, how you guys feel about this one?
Joker.
Joker in 2.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Joker in 2.
So that is everybody on the panel. Andrew, just to confirm, you are in agreement. Joker in 2.
Yeah, they don't. SSVC don't stand a chance.
Absolutely not.
They don't stand a chance, they say, and yeah, that's some heavy words there. I don't know if any of the guys from Legends are here. I haven't noticed,
I'm so
but
sorry, Legend.
I should. I need to do a better job of watching chat here. But yeah, so that's every single one on the panel here taking Joker in 2. And yeah, I don't know if there's much else to say about that matchup. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see what Legends can do against Joker. I know we played Joker. Nova played Joker in the preseason. We haven't seen him since, but we did play him in the preseason, and they definitely gave us a weapon. I think that was week 1 or week 2, so definitely very early on. And I'm excited to see them again at some point. But yeah, definitely a very strong team, that Team Joker. But yeah, I think that is all our matchups for the week, and we did that in good time here, making good time. And of course, yeah, we had we started with that the potential tiebreaker calls. Mo Jolly with Reboot versus Genesis in 2, Ender with Reboot in 3, and Cam picking Space Force versus 6 Foot Over with Space Force in 2. Then of course we did get our first Mercy bets tonight. And I think everybody but Mo Jolly, I think you're the only one who did not use a Mercy bet here.
Didn't no, I used one. I didn't
Oh,
use
you did.
two.
Yes, you did. You on the orbit versus
did.
participation points game. You and Ender.
Oh,
Yeah.
disrespectful. Disrespectful.
It's just out of spite at this point.
but yeah. So that's I think that'll just about do it here. Go ahead and take that back to just a plain screen. And so before we go, of course, I give everybody on the show an opportunity to plug their Twitters or Twitches or YouTubes or anything you have to plug. Any sponsors you have a contractual obligation to throw out when you throw out plugs. I'm sure we have a few of those here tonight. But yeah, Cam Jam, if you want to start, if you have anything here to plug, go ahead, throw it out there.
I mean, this might surprise you, but participation points still don't have a sponsor. So if anyone wants to sponsor this beautiful team, then just go ahead. And also, I hope to see everybody supporting the participation points against Orbit. I mean, we've got it easy.
Cam Jam just gonna rep his team here. Ender, if you have any anything you want to plug.
No one on my team even knows. I think that we have a Twitter because I run it, but follow Illuminati EA on Twitter. I post once a month. And Rocks Titan wouldn't make a tier 1 team if you tried. Other than that, thank you guys.
And then Mo Jolly, if you have anything to bump.
I don't really have anything personal of mine to bump, but chat required me to shout out Shepard and then Jaywalker's SoundCloud little paper stick.
Of course, Jaywalker's trying to get that out there every night this week so far.
Every night.
That's phenomenal, Jaywalker. I haven't checked it out. I'm gonna check it out, and if that is some decent stuff, we might have to feature some of it here on the podcast if we get your permission.
Absolutely.
I'm very curious what's on a SoundCloud though. I don't know if I'm expecting much. So if there is anything there at all, I think I'll be surprised. But yeah,
backed by Games record label.
So all right, so that will do it here for us tonight. Of course, I am Sir Dimwee. You can follow me at Sir Dimwee on Twitter, Sir Dimwee here on Twitch. Of course, you're all here on the channel already. But anyone watching on YouTube, that's where we host. This is every Monday night, either 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 7 West, or after the final game, as tonight was one of those nights where we had a game going on, so we didn't get started till about 11. And yeah, so and also on YouTube, we are The Echo. So if you just if you're looking for the YouTube channel, you can just look up the Forward Echo podcast or the Weekly Echo podcast, and that'll be one of the first things that pop up there. So thank everybody for coming in. Yeah, everybody, round of applause. You guys hear a round of applause there.
Hey, Grumpy, we're challenging you this week. All right, buddy.
And so there's that challenge there, and hopefully we can get all three of you back on Sunday. If not, we can always find a surrogate to take your position. But yeah, we will be back on. What's that?
I was just wondering, could I make a prediction for the challenge game that Ender's making?
Yeah.
Do I get a mercy token?
Absolutely.
Okay,
so what? So it's Flare versus Illuminati.
I don't have a mercy token.
And we're gonna throw this one out there.
Yeah.
Hopefully this happens.
Mercy
Cam
token.
with
Oh, no.
Illuminati 2. Well, I guess since we're doing this, if you guys, Ender, I believe you're going to be calling, or excuse me, Cam called Flare into. Ender, I assume you're going to be calling Illuminati into.
Yeah, with a mercy on the second round.
We will take it into consideration, although I do believe you're out of mercy bets.
All right, just like a hypothetical
absolutely.
one. Oh, man.
Okay, then I'll take
I got it.
You people are ridiculous.
And Mo Jolly with Flare, and you said Flare in 2?
Flare in 2.
All right, and this can be, if we need a second tiebreaker, we will be using this as a second tiebreaker. There, so yeah, so thank you everybody for joining us tonight. You can find this. We'll be uploading this to YouTube afterwards. It will be up there at some point, probably 3 a.m. is usually about the time it actually finishes loading up and all that. So yeah, we will be back on Sunday night, either 10 o'clock Eastern or after the last game of the night. And yeah, so I have been Monsieur Demi, oh my goodness, I can't even say my name, Monsieur Dimwee, here with Cam Jam of Participation Points, Ender of Illuminati, and Mo Jolly of Guinness. Thank you all for joining, and have a wonderful, safe, and happy evening.
Hey, you too. Have a good one.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.